Today's story is going to be awesome. I can't wait for you to hear it. Many of you will know right away who we're talking about. He was some type of guru in the 1980s who was in the spotlight, and he's no longer with us. But this story is about somebody who was asked to cover that story as a journalism piece. And he did not want to go because he did not really like this guy. And he was like, it's the last thing he wanted to do for many reasons. But wait till you see how it ended up. I think you're going to love it.
I was working years ago, public relations for the New York State Department of Correctional Service. Going through a divorce, get my kids every other weekend. They were about 5 years old at the time, twin boys. So that Saturday I had plans to go to a Met game with the boys from where I lived in Albany, New York. And my boss in correction comes to me, he says, "Houston, what are you doing Saturday?" And I got the kids' boss, I'm taking them to see the Mets, He goes, "No, you're not." He goes, "There's this real heavy-set woman at the ladies' prison in Bedford Hills. She wrote a letter to this guy, Richard Simmons. He's going to come and visit her. He's this health guy and wants her to lose weight. You got to go cover it." Oh, my ex-wife's going to be mad at me. I got to go to, you like your job, Mike? You're going to go see Richard Simmons. All right, boss. So from that was a Thursday, and I grumbled all day. Called the ex-wife. She was all upset. No kids for the weekend. Friday, I'm fuming. I got to go see this Richard Simmons guy.
Hey, everyone, let's dance. Whee! Spinning around, jumping high, woohoo! This is so much fun.
I don't want to see him. I don't like him. I think he's an affront to all of everything that's decent in society. I have no use for Richard Simmons. But I drive down reluctantly Saturday morning, early in the morning, down to Taconic State Parkway, ranting, raving the whole way. I get down there, I meet the superintendent of the prison. We do the formalities. I get checked in. I go down this hallway and I hear, "Hello, Mr. Houston." And I hear a clap. And I see in the corner, there's this guy there in like a tutu. He's all got bedazzles on him. He does have nice Nike sneakers. I remember that. But he just looked, he was dressed rather effeminate. He came toward me rather effeminate, introduced himself. And I'm like, okay, I got to spend the day with this guy. So I was not in a good frame of mind. And the first thing that we did was at the prison, when the inmates came in, it's a female prison, a lot of them were pregnant and they would deliver their babies while they were incarcerated. This was during the crack era. So a lot of these babies were born and they were housed in the nursery there. They were crack babies. And they have neurological issues, and it's quite a heart-wrenching sight to see these poor little babies have no control over their bodies. And I remember walking up the lines, there were like 8 kids there, and 4 or 5 of them were the crack babies. And we got to the end of that line, and I turned to Richard Simmons, and he had tears coming down his face. And he said, "That was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life." And I felt a moment of empathy and humanity that I don't think I had ever felt before. And it was like something inside switched. And I spent the day with him, and he was a fascinating individual. He had such a big heart. He would stop to take a picture with everybody. He would sign everything for everybody. If you're young, people don't realize how big of a cultural phenomenon Richard Simmons was for a time in the 80s and 90s. They talk about your 15 minutes of fame. He had it all for a while. He was on top of the world. This was like 92, I think, when I went to see him. So he was right in the head of the game. And I remember we really hit it off. And he was talking to me about how he has the PR at his studios out in LA. Maybe you can come out there and work, and I was really thinking about it. And I remember I went home and talked about it with my girlfriend. And she was like, "That would be the greatest thing in the world to be able to work with somebody like that." She was all jealous of me for going down and seeing Richard Simmons. I said, "You can go in my place." And before I went, I said, "I don't really feel like going to meet the guy." Afterward, I wouldn't have changed that for anything in the world. Long story short, we didn't wind up going into tandem together. And the next night at home, the phone rang about 5:30, And I told the girl who wanted to go down to see Richard Simmons with me, answer that phone, I don't know who it is. And she had picked up the phone and there's a voice on the other end. Is this Aileen? And she said yes. And it was Richard Simmons, and he used to sing little songs with people's names in it. And this woman just started hopping up and down with the phone. He had called at my request just to say, and he kept calling me his sweet man, which was such a term of endearment. You take good care of my sweet man, he said to her. And I never talked to him after that. I think we did 2 emails back and forth. And, you know, I thought afterward what a blessing it was, because I had no desire to go down there. It created a big fracture with my divorce proceedings because I blew off taking the kids for a weekend. But I wouldn't have traded that for anything in the world, because I think I'm a different person today because I met somebody like that. This world needs a little more empathy and compassion and love and tolerance nowadays. And if we had more people with just the iota of heart that Richard Simmons had, we'd be a lot better off than we are right now. We wouldn't be as fractured. He passed a while ago, and I've been seeing things about the people he entrusted with his care took advantage of him. And that breaks my heart. But there are predators out there, and I just have to remember that, you know, I was blessed to be able to spend a special day with a special person. And I'm never embarrassed to say that, you know, a leopard can change its spots if you're open to suggestions and willing to change. So, peace. So that's my great story for today.
What a great story. I mean, he went in with all kinds of preconceived notions and came out and said it was a blessing to meet a person like him. And so this just gives me something to strive for. It's to not judge, and to have a little love and a little compassion, a little tenderness, and just know that the world will be a better place for it. So those comfortable things that we think, I don't want to do it, that'll make me uncomfortable, I don't like those kind of people, I don't think the way they think, all those thoughts, you know, we can just kind of push them away and open up our hearts and see where it leads us. And I think that's great. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. And we'd love it if you would follow us by subscribing. And if you could share this video, that would be super. We thank you. We're just trying to spread some good, positive vibes on how to live in a world that's so divided right now. And thanks so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. And please tell me something great. I want to hear about it.